Hello, YouTubers. This is Ashiashi from Tennessee, and with me I have co-host Nate from. Where are you from, Nate? I forgot.
Back west. We'll say I'm from the west,
Okay,
south
so
of
we got
Tennessee.
Nate from the West. He does not wear a cowboy hat, I don't think. But
No.
today we have something special, and you guys are gonna like it. It is a replay of me versus a Zerg, and I'm gonna be going over a build order. And you might know this pro player. His name is Maru, and it's Maru's Marine, Hellion, and medivac timing. Alright, so let's get started here. And yeah, this is a good build. What do you think, Nate? What do you think about this build?
I think it's a strong build. People may question it at the beginning because it may appear risky, but it pays off.
Yeah, definitely. And alright, just going straight into this, we will be seeing a supply depot, which is obvious because you need supply depots to keep making shit. And yeah, it's a CC verse build too, which is pretty cool because you can go straight into the mid game with economy. And this is what I do. I make the CC on the low ground. Reason why? Because if you put it up here, then you got to make your orbital, right? And then you got to fly it all the way down to here. And I also make the barracks right here. So what's going on is, I'm going to pause this 1 second. As at 14, you make your CC on low ground. At 15, you make your barracks. And I put it on the low ground to finish off this wall. And then at 16, you get your refinery. Now the reasons for that is because you're going to need a bunch of stuff for gas. You're going to need reactors, factory, starport, and medivacs, which all cost gas. And if you put your command center on the low ground, you get about, I think it's 2 SCVs extra than you would normally if you floated it from there. Alright, so we'll speed this up a little bit, just to get this going. Alright, now make a bunker next. Now why would I make a bunker? Obvious reasons, zerglings, or brooches. But I also send a SCV out to make sure I'm not being all-in. If I was being all-in, I would be making more bunkers. So you make up to 2 marines with this build. Once you get 2 marines, you build your factory. And I build the factory on the low ground as well, just to finish this off. So I'm scouting with this SCV here. I don't see any zerglings yet, so I feel like I'm okay. And I'll speed this up a little bit more. And I completed the wall with a supply depot. So at this time, you should have both of your command centers at orbitals. That's as soon as they're done, and as soon as your barracks is done, that's what you want to get. You want to get your orbitals. And at 24 supply, you want to get your refinery, a second refinery. Like I said, this is a gas intensive build, so you want to do that. Next is after you get your factory, you want to get 2 barracks. We'll go ahead and pause. Go ahead. And the reason you get 2 extra barracks is because once those are done, you're going to put reactors on those. And now at this point, you should switch your factory and your first barracks that you made the reactor with. That way you can start pumping out double hellions. And then with this barracks, you will be making a tech lab. And I use it over there to just continue to finish off this wall. And this is a 9-minute timing is when you want to push out an attack. So I've seen some speedlings out, so I decided to play it safe and just build 2 extra bunkers because he's seen my production. And if you see speedlings, that's always usually pressure build. So as soon as those 2 barracks are done, put on double reactors, got my tech lab, and once you get enough gas, you want to get stim. So we'll speed this up a little bit. So I knew there was no pressure, and even if there was, I could defend it with these 2 extra bunkers. And now you should be producing all kinds of marines. As many marines as possible. Also, you want to slab down your starport, and once that's finished, you'll switch it with your factory. And in this build, I have an alteration to Maru's build. I add in 2 Widow Mines just for the extra zest, the jazz, the painful explosion that causes. Alright, now here's 2 ways you can play this style. With this factory that you swapped with your starport to get your double medivacs, you can either go tanks, so you'd make a tech lab. If you want to go into Widow Mine Marine, you'll obviously get a reactor to push out double Widow Mines. So we'll continue. So stim should be finishing up around the same time you get your medivacs. At this time, you can push out with your hellions. You could also do that earlier just to get map control. Depends how APM get GR. And this time, you can push out, salvage all the bunkers. And I get a medivac and a Viking while I'm pushing. Now, while you should be pushing, you should be getting a 3rd command center. You can add up to 5 extra barracks, 2 engineering bays, and get all of your gases. Alright, so this is how the pressure looks around 9 minutes for a zerg. As long as you have good control, don't get surrounded, don't put your units in bad positioning. Also, if you're doing this build, do not lose your units on this initial push. Like, I almost lost it right there. I was lucky. And did you see that Baneling hit? What?
That is crazy. Are you gonna back it up?
Did you see that? Oh my god. Alright. Oh my god.
That's why you make Widow Mines right there.
That
why you
is
make
the
Widow Mines.
precise reasoning that I alterated that build a little bit. Let's back that up just a minute. Oh my gosh. That was just beautiful. I mean, this
so
is
right
a
now
yeah.
the lower Widow Mine has 0 kills and the other one has 1.
Okay. All right, let's put this in normal just to make it look a little bit more boom. All right, here we go. So, here goes. Plat.
Oh,
They're all dead.
13 kills.
All right, so
13
now
kills in 1 hit.
So now he's pushing with these banelings. He's like,
So
"Oh,
you're-
let me connect with you, Marine. I'd love to date you." But no, I decided to get the hell out of there because you do not want to lose this army. Why don't you want to lose this army? I mean, couldn't you just keep pressuring the Zerg player? I mean, you killed off a lot of shit. But the problem is, if you lose this initial army, that's your army. You don't have a backup army unless you got hacks. The reason you want to keep this army alive while pressuring, you can also do drops with these medivacs, is because you got to establish your 3rd base. Without having this 3rd base established, you cannot beat a Zerg player. Especially if you're on 5 barracks with reactors and tech labs. It's no way. You just won't have the production as the Zerg will. So that's the primary reasoning for keeping this army alive. Now let's see here. Alright, so we decided to push up here again. And another thing you can note is with this build, you can just clear creep and it's effective. And you don't lose your army. Just clearing creep, forcing the Zerg to just make units instead of drones is awesome. So I decided to clear out a little bit of this creep here. And I was like, yeah, alright, I feel safe. I'm going to back up. I don't feel safe on that ground. Let that start to degenerate. But I only seen that many banelings, so I was like, alright. That's not too many. I can kill that. So, with good splits, you can take this army. I do have a drop, also, in this. But this is going to be a huge attack here. This guy's just like, what do I do? Do I sit here and let him split every one of his marines? But I do have an attack in the natural, a little drop, while he doesn't notice it. And there's a huge battle going on. I didn't win that battle, but he doesn't know about this drop going on in his natural. I'm just killing all these drones right now. We're even. You should never be even, Terran. You should be a lot more. I've already killed 24 workers this game. Ridiculous. Just get the heck out of there. I'm still pressuring him a little bit here. It's, as long as you got good splits with this build, you can just just non-stop harassment to the Zerg. And if you refine it, you might be the next Maru, right?
That's right. Hopefully you just sweep up those
And
queens. Oh, here comes the
huge!
Banes.
All the splits. All the splits in the world. Those queens are like, we just want to spread creep and live a happy life. But I'm
Give
like,
us some.
no. And so far, this game is looking pretty crazy. What would you
Yeah,
say?
pretty even.
Pretty
I think
even?
it's even there. Yeah, I could go either way.
And now you can just continue the harassment. There's non-stop aggression when you play against this style. Widow, Mine, Marine. And I'm pushing in on this third base just to pressure him. If you just keep pressuring Zergs, they just die. They can't handle it. They just...
These
Unless they have really good Bane connection, which was not too good there. Look, that one Marine's like, I can save everyone. And he did beat that force back, but just the non-stop reinforcements.
Yep.
The non-stop reinforcements is what's key to this build also. You have to constantly be producing Marines.
He
And
just can't get enough. It's like he just can't get enough mutas. He can't get a sufficient mass to do much here. With those widow mines.
and Eskite,
Sweeping
so
it up.
key, was just, he just didn't have enough for him. He just didn't have it in him to beat this Maru build. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe. This is pretty much my first video I've been making ever on YouTube. But I hope you guys like it, and I'll see y'all next time. And I'll be doing these videos weekly. I'll be adding in a couple different crazy ones. But have a great day, and God bless.